Alright, this is Aaron to YouTube. I'm back and I'm going to do a brief how do you know when it's time to go video. So we have had, this has actually been a pretty good seed for stats. Here we are at level 12. We have 91 strength, 50 agility, 113 HP, 64 MP. We have the fighter's ring, the dragon scale. We have the best possible gear. So, and we do have a short Sharlock on, so it should be pretty easy. But do I have the stats to win right now? Now, some people might look at 113 attack power and 113 HP and be like, that's pretty good, and it is. But our weakness right now is right here, the 64 MP. That gives us 8 heal mores, and that's a problem. So something I use that I encourage you all to use as well is the Archfield Monk DWR manual. Here it is. Specifically, it's long. People know it's long. It's 112 pages. But it's a very enjoyable read, I think, if you like DWR. So I encourage everyone to read this anyway. Probably the one thing you can do to get you over the beginner's hump in this game is to read and understand and process this information. But we can't just have a training tournament where you say, okay, everyone, now read the manual that Archfield wrote. It doesn't work that simply. So this gives you a bunch of information, but the thing to remember about the Dragonlord, the way that the damage formula in this game works, is that it is your attack power. Basically, you could figure it out just by taking your attack power minus their agility. The formula doesn't work quite that way, but it's the easiest way to look at it for the Dragonlord. And you divide that by 2 for the max, and you divide it by 2 again for the minimum. So with the attack power we had, I'm just going to show this up on screen, even though it's not the same window. 133, we're doing 8 to 16 damage. Which, so we're averaging about 12. That's a little high. And are we going to be able to do that with 8 heal mores? This math is really confusing. And that's why I say don't worry about the math and use these charts, which Archfield Monk has created for us. So, according to this, at 133 AP, we do an average of 12 damage, which means the fight should take 13 hits. The one thing to remember about fighting the Dragonlord is it's very much a hit to heal more ratio, but there's a number that kind of gets added in that we're going to talk about real quick. So I have 8 heal mores, which means on average with 8 heal mores, I can expect 10 hits because you heal more. The way things are staggered, you have an attack before, an attack after heal more, ideally. You can get ambushed and lose your opening attack and lose a round, but you usually don't count on that. Even though the ambush rate for the Dragonlord is pretty high. And it's going to be particularly high with only 50 agility like we have. So we're looking at, you take those 8 heal mores, and I just mentally add 2. So I say that's 10 rounds. This says it's going to take 13 on average. I never count on things to go faster than they will. It can. I don't count on it. I don't suggest you count on it either. So, and I have a variation of this chart. I'll show you here really quick. That I have written out for myself here on the right side. I did that because I don't use... I made the whole room dark. I don't use these sorts of things while I'm streaming. I have as few things up on screens as possible while I'm streaming, which is already too many. So you can figure out a way to do this yourself. And some other people have made different charts too. I think Brian Williams, 42, or Tilo has their own, which doesn't line up 100% with this one. So if you want to, you can look that up yourself, or if you ask about it in the training room or somewhere, somebody will probably find it for you. If it isn't in the pins, I don't know where it is offhand. But the important thing here is we're basically minus 3 rounds right now to be able to fight. That doesn't feel good. Another thing to keep in mind this is not the most important thing, but one, our agility is bad. 80 agility is usually pretty good. Even though we have easy Sherlock on, at 50 agility, we are not going to do so well running from Sherlock enemies. Most of them, their average run point is at 40 agility, where you're 50-50, and 50-50 isn't really what you want. But even with easy Sherlock on, you're still not a favorite to run away from Armored Knights and Red Dragons. So if Sherlock is bad, this may have you losing heal mores on the way down, and we can't lose any of them. Excuse me. The one useful thing, though, with the Silver Shield, though, we have 75 defense power, and that's another chart on here to look at. So 75, we're in this range, so you use the lower amount, so we can be hit for 51. We currently have 113 hit points, which means, because usually the Dragonlord fight you can count on as a swing, heal more fight. You can get doubles if you have more hit points, and that's something to consider. 113 is not enough that you could really count on many doubles. And the other thing to consider is that getting a double attack on the Dragonlord is more likely the more times you heal more. So when you have a low amount of heal mores, that actually gives you a lower opportunity to get doubles. I don't have a specific formula to factor that in, but that's something to keep in mind. One last thing, and apologies, it's going to take me a moment to figure out how to access, because I don't have it handy, which I should have done. Here we go. This is another tool that's present in the training room. This is EMP's Dragon Warrior Randomizer utilities page. We can go ahead and just type in our information, which I don't remember offhand. So 133 AP, 113, 64, 75. So we're going to assume no fairy waters because we have a lot of attack. We want to put in our max hit points, even though it does vary a little bit. And our MP is 64. So if we get there with all resources and we swing cautiously, this tells us we have a 0.6% chance of winning. So, you know, we beat this into the ground. This is not a good scenario to kill the Dragonlord with. Some people might think it would be, but it shouldn't. It's very unlikely to happen. So we stop this right before we fight to grind up a level. So unfortunately it's a blue dragon. Our grind choices for spike tiles in this one are Stone Man and Blue Dragon, and those are two of the worst spike options. But it's right here. I knew it was going to be here, and it's a good level. What do we get? 1 power, 14 agility. That's actually really nice. 11 hit points, and 13 magic points, and we get hurt, which we don't care about. So all of the math once more. We now have 92 strength, so we're at 134 attack power. That increases our range to 8 to 17 from 8 to 16. It doesn't really change the go math. 77 MP, this is 1 more heal more, so we now have 9 heal mores. We have a little bit more health and a little bit more agility. 64 is almost the breaking point for Red Dragons in... almost, when I say breaking point, the 50-50 run chance. It's nice the Red Dragon decided to show up on screen when I said that. So it's almost 50-50 to be able to do, to run now. This is a lot more of a confident position, but let's look at first the stuff here, the manual here. 134 still says 13 rounds on average, although it's a little bit, you know, when I see this, I think like 12 and 2/3. You know, if 12 would be good, I would consider this a little bit more. But we have 13 rounds, 9 heal mores, which, you know, add 2, that's 11. That's a difference of 2 rounds. However, what else do we have going in our favor? Our defense picked up a little bit. I have to remember what it is. Oh, you know what? I'm not showing this on screen. Sorry. I forgot. I shouldn't have changed the view. So, again, we're still at 13 here. Everything else I said was still right. So we're still like -2 heal mores. However, our defense is a little bit better. We have 82 defense power. That puts it at a 49 max hit. That lowers the min and the max. We only look at max hit when we talk about it, but it decreases the average damage the Dragonlord can do to you as well. Even though he still does breathe fire breath for 42 to 48 damage 50% of the time. The other interesting thing is our hit points went up to 124. This is pretty good chance to get doubles, you know, every 2 or 3 heal mores. So let's use the AMP thing here again one more time. We went up to 134. We're at 77. Our hit points are 124, which we have to type twice. Our defense is now 82. Oh, I put 80 in there. I don't think that was right. Oh, well. And now, this is a very difficult go level. It says we win 53% of the time. That is scary. So, I will mention, we're not talking about fairy waters. Like, if we swing aggressively, it doesn't change this, because what we're counting on are doubles. So, this is a situation that if you feel like you need to win right at this point, you just go. I would probably not. 50% isn't good odds, and this is only if you get there with full resources. I'm not guaranteed to do that with the lowish agility we have. I would say 80 to 90% of players will not go on this. Normally, for a solid go level, you want to be somewhere around 70%, I think, is about as low as people will normally go for win percent. So we can go ahead and I'm going to cheat a little bit here for the courtesy of the viewer to not have to wait for this. Because it's the blue dragon fights. They're not interesting. True. And something chat pointed out, thank you Diabetes, is that short Charlock actually lets you be a little bit more aggressive. Long Charlock, you have so many more enemies you have to be able to get away from, that agility score matters a lot more. Whoops. Okay. It's hard to play with emulator settings set to max. We're almost to the next level, though. There we go. So, what do we got coming in? 2 power, 3 agility, 11 hit points, and 5 magic points. I'm pretty sure this puts us in an overwhelming go mode now. And for one very specific reason, we have the Death Necklace. I haven't talked about that yet, but something that the Death Necklace does, or what the Death Necklace generally does, is that when you equip it, it will reduce your hit points by 25% and increase your AP by 10. This is... There are certain points of hit points and attack power where this matters a lot or not so much. It matters a lot in this, and I will... We're going to flip back to this. First off, let's look at our stats. So we have 136 attack power. That means we're averaging 12 rounds. We got enough MP 82 for 10 heal mores. So right now we're on good odds, not even looking at any of the other stats. The increase to defense power and agility was basically negligible. It's not going to change the math. I would go on this without the Death Necklace, but let's show how this can change things. So we're going to just go ahead and put in our new stats here. And there we go. So according to this, we win 98% of the time. Like, it likes this change. If we do the Death Necklace, it doesn't really change. So it basically stays the same. So it doesn't really matter which way, but I like quick fights. And if, for some reason we fall down to, let's say, we can only cast 1 less heal more, then it goes down to 93%, but if we put on the death necklace, it actually goes lower. Interesting. I would have expected the opposite. Either way, we are going to... Let me see if this changes it with that. I wonder if his death necklace changes the odds, or if... That'd be a big good question for him. I don't know how it works out. But generally speaking, the death necklace, if it saves you more than 2 rounds, if you go from 136 to 12 to 146, which is 9, if it saves you more than 2 rounds, it's usually worth it, unless it puts you in a dangerous HP position, which this won't. So this is an overwhelming go mode, and I guess we should just go ahead and finish it, right? So we'll cast Return. Oh, I don't have Outside. Dang it. All right, we're gonna manually leave. Then we'll cast Return. we never learned Outside, the one spell that we didn't get. And we're just gonna go ahead and try to finish this up quickly. And by quickly, I mean like this. Because I don't see a reason in slowing the rest of the game up any bit at all. Also, it's kind of fun to hear the music change and stuff. So again, we're on Short Sharlock. We have just this one floor to go. So let's... Here's your real speed hack. So we've seen Golem, Stoneman, Blue Dragon. Blue Dragon's a little bit hard to run from, but that's it. Our fight here is a Golem. We're going to use the Fairy Flute because we have it. This would actually have been a better grind if I had went in to do than what I was doing, but we needed the grind so little anyway that I'm not sure it would have mattered. But there we go. Being really careful because with the settings, the emu speed being higher, it's real easy to slip past. So we're just going to use the herbs. You should always herb up before the Dragonlord fight. Remember to tap B. Do not tap A. So a lot of people will equip the Death Necklace during the fight. The Death Necklace applies to the next fight after if you equip it in a fight. We'll keep our herbs up even though we're a bit of an overwhelming favorite, just to keep that advantage. Now the Dragonlord 1 is 75% to use Hurt More, so if you see a stop spell or a regular attack, the game is doing you a favor. And we're just going to attack. So 13 opener, 12, that's pretty bad. 146, we should be rolling 11 to 23. So we've had 3 really bad rolls so far. 17 is much better. Because we equipped the Death Necklace, we have no chance for doubles now. We're not even thinking about anything but swing heal more. And keep an eye on our HP, because if he breathes twice in a row, we could be in trouble. But the Dragonlord has 150 to 165 hit points. Unlike other monsters, that value is set at the beginning of the game and never changes. Every other fight with any enemy, you meet them at somewhere between 75% to 100% of their max hit points. So we've been rolling pretty low, but there we go. And then we beat the game, and that's it. So I like this song sped up. It sounds really good. So there you go. That's your general win condition, and you always hit time when the word find, like the last input, it's off the screen, you're done. That's the time to do it. So We'll go back to the normal speed for the music here at the end. But yeah, there's just a little bit of tutorial about what to do with Go stats. It's always a bit of a decision to make, but what I would encourage you to do, as you saw me doing it, and I do this in my own way, I don't decide this stuff on my own. I've used a chart that Archfield Monk has prepared, which other people have contributed to. I call it the Archfield Monk stuff, but he will tell you he is a data aggregator. He is not a data creator. So give you an idea of how many swings, and it's always however heal mores you have, add 2 because you should get an opening attack before you use heal more, and usually 2 attacks after the last heal more. Because you're swinging where you would normally heal more, but you don't have any magic, so you just swing. And that number can even be flexed a little bit. If you have highish hit points, you can expect to maybe get a closing triple to get 3 attacks in at the end, if you don't get a double at some point. If you have, high hit points actually stretch that value a little bit too to increase the likelihood of doubles and so on. So all good information to have, things to think about while you're doing this. And I would say for fun, I would utilize this tool that EMP made to let you know when it's time. Okay, so I think this did actually equip it. But yeah, I would use this tool to have a pretty good idea of when it's go level or not. What I did by equipping the Death Necklace probably lowered my odds, but it made the fight faster. And when you're looking at over 90%, I'm usually going to do that anyway, because I just want it to get over as fast as possible. And sometimes you beat people in races by doing that. But that's something that I would think about, whatever's safest for now. There you are. That's my when to go tutorial. Feel free to ask any more questions here or wherever. Thank you.